And now for our keynote address. He comes to us from Poland via Zimbabwe, or maybe the other way around, from Zimbabwe via Poland to here. He is a speaker, an educator, a coach, and a mentor, and a champion. In fact, he is the 2022 World Champion of Public Speaking. Please welcome Cyril Jr. Dim.
Not afraid, 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 not afraid. Yep, scary, scary. Yeah, just like I thought. Regardless of what many people might think, I don't fancy myself a romantic. Don't let the evidence fool you. But even I have to admit that love, in its many forms, is a transformative force in our lives and in our careers. And it is that second part I'd like to talk about today. How love can be a transformative force in our careers. It means embracing what drives us, chasing what excites us, chasing what makes us feel truly alive in the professional world. It's more than just finding a job, it's finding a calling and letting your passion serve as a propeller, as the engine that propels you forward. Passion is often described as the secret source of success, the Coca-Cola recipe within us. If we're passionate about what we do, work does not become a burden. It becomes a fulfilling journey. If we love what we do, every challenge becomes an opportunity, every setback a lesson, every success a reward. But here's the thing. We can't force passion. We can't decide to love something just because it's lucrative or it seems prominent. We must find what we truly love. And only when we commit to it can we describe both success and fulfillment. You see, I didn't always know what I really loved. It wasn't always so obvious to me. I grew up at a time in Zimbabwe when you were either a doctor, a lawyer, or a failure. At the end of school and at the precipice of the real world, I asked myself, what will I do with my life? I wanted a career in something I loved, something I was passionate about. But again, where I came from, the only real passion was the paycheck, and so I got a real job in tech. I put in the hours, I climbed the ladder, I worked the system. Sometimes it was thrilling, but every day, I would go to bed with a heart that knew that I could achieve more elsewhere. Like I was trapped in a prison of my own making. Have you ever been there? And I wasn't the only one that thought so either. Whenever I get fired, inevitably, my managers would find a way to work it into the conversation. I mean, Cyril, for crying out loud, have you thought about working in something you actually love? Whatever, Zbigniew, where's my severance package? No, you can't force passion any more than you can force yourself to love American football. See, they agree with me, for crying out loud. That's what rugby is for, right? We must find what we love. And only when we commit to it can we describe both success and fulfillment. Now, pursuing a passion is not always easy. There are risks involved, financial, social, even emotional. There's hurdles every which way, and perhaps you've asked yourself, look, I need stability, I need security, I need this paycheck. But this is where the beauty of passion comes into play. When you love what you do, it becomes easier to take risks because your passion provides the confidence, the motivation you need to face the unknown. I'm sitting in that corner of, I need a job, but I know what I love, and I'm asking, what's the way forward? And I'm looking at all the most successful careers that have ever been shaped and what the common chord has been, and it seems that all these guys, all of them have bet on themselves. All of them have taken a chance, pursued their curiosity, not settled for anything less than they could love. And so I decide to do the same. I decide I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to take that chance. I'm going to take the leap, and the reward is beautiful. Unemployment. Yes, friends, 2022, I received the invitation for the semis of the International Speech Contest, and when that invitation comes, I am unemployed, I am living on my savings, and I am trying to go pro as a speaker in a country where English is not the first language. Logic is saying, get a real job, you bum. Get your safety net back. But passion is saying, bet on yourself, bet on yourself, bet on yourself, bet on yourself. And the problem is, there's good arguments for both sides. Hear me out. The semis in 2022 are held in the United States. I'm Zimbabwean, which means I need a visa to go to the bathroom. To get an American visa, I need a Polish residence card. But see, to get a residence card, I need a job. If you think that's enough of a mess, a couple of weeks after they invite me to the World Semis, I get robbed. They steal my wallet. I don't care about the money. I have no money. I care about the residence card, the current residence card, the one that is yet to expire, my only hope of getting onto the plane to go to the United States. So tell me, Cyril, my mind says, bet on what? And my heart says, I'll tell you what. You were 3 years old the first time they put you in front of a camera. Where's the camera? You were 4 years old the first time you ever stood on a stage. You were 9 years old the first time you ever wrote a speech. And 11, the first time you got to speak in front of a member of parliament. You were 13 when you first competed. You lost that contest, Cyril. You came dead last. And yet 5 more times you came back to try again. You were 18 the first time you won a major title, Cyril. So how dare you? How dare you consider giving up on your dream? Is a paycheck really worth more than your passion? I remember sitting on the floor in this tiny bathroom, in this tiny apartment that I was renting out, feeling a mixture of shame and rage. But most importantly, I remember a feeling of realization, a feeling that had overwhelmed me my entire life, a certain confidence in what it was, what it is I truly love, and that is to speak. I love to speak. I don't remember ever understanding something so clearly. But still, there is the element of risk in betting on yourself. It may seem naive, impractical even, to follow a passion. Again, I need stability, Cyril. Not now. I need a paycheck. I need to be sure. You can't just go out there and follow your dreams. Not everybody wants to be like you, unemployed. Again, this is where the beauty of passion comes into play. When you're passionate, you're not just showing up to a job for the paycheck. Those concerns, by the way, are very valid. They're valid considerations. But when you're passionate, you're not showing up to work just for a job. You're showing up with a purpose. That job in tech, your purpose is to learn how to build for your passion. That job in sales or marketing, your task, your purpose is to learn how to package your passion for the world. That job in a call center, where my managers would repeatedly fire me, my purpose was to learn how to handle difficult conversations. A skill which I would need to negotiate a replacement residence card, an American visa, a part-time job while rehearsing for a speech contest in under 2 months. It's not crazy I hate that I have to say that. I feel like everybody says that. I'm not crazy, I promise. But this is the beauty of passion. Along the way, everything that ever seemed impractical becomes a reality because passion wields the power to turn those obstacles into stepping stones. And the more challenges you face, the more challenges you overcome, the more you believe in yourself, and the more you say, come at me, I've got what it takes. I'm not crazy. When I became the world champion in 2022, it was immediately impressed upon me that this would not be an end. If anything, it would be a beginning. You see, I viewed that stage as the gateway to something greater, but all too often, all we can see is the trophy. And I was reminded right there that all I was a speaker with 2 good speeches. One for the semis, one for the finals. In order to go pro, which was my dream, I had to become something more. I had to be one who could speak. Whenever, wherever. And that became my life mission. Becoming an authority on that which I so love, the art of public speaking. Being passionate about something or loving what you do is not about instant gratification. It's about setting yourself up for long-term success. The most successful, rewarding careers are built on years of wisdom, of knowledge, of dedication to something that you love. So much so that some people never retire because the fire of passion never quite burns out. It's more than just the trophies. It's about the value that we discover along the way. One thing that I've seen over the years is that that passion which I had, which initially started out as a love of speaking, to a love of competing, to a love of learning, to a love of helping others learn, it's continued to evolve because that's how passion works. As you go along your journey, you will start to change in how you view things. That's going to create more room for you, more room for reinvention, more room for deeper levels of mastery. And it's that depth that somebody else will benefit from many years down the line. So talk about passion and how it can shape your careers. We ask ourselves, what is it that I could do to cultivate passion for what I do? What is it that I can do to allow passion to serve as the engine that propels me forward? Well, we have discussed so far that it will involve taking risks. It will involve betting on yourself. You won't always be sure. And that's the beauty of it. That's why the risk is so rewarding, because you don't know if it's crocodiles or sunshine on the other side. We know that it will take time, because being passionate means that we need to allow ourselves time for the process, for discovery, for learning, for growth, for giving back. The one element I find many people leave out on this journey is building a community of like-minded people, building a community of equally crazy people, if you will. I can honestly say to become a better speaker, I had to meet quite a few artists, quite a few poets, quite a few writers, quite a few singers, even dancers, and a couple of alcoholics. I live in Poland, so we like our vodka. We handle it well. People call us alcoholics. We just embrace it, you know. But we were united in purpose. And this sense of community provided some motivation in and of itself. On those days when it felt like I was chasing after the wind, it was a rope of accountability that I could hold on to, some form of stability. It's like we say in Africa, it takes a village to raise a child. And many times you're dreaming of something. I know you can imagine at least someone who's done it before. What that tells you is you're not alone. It's a couple of people who've walked this road before you, and perhaps you're not the only one dreaming right now. So it is a power to have people in your corner who think like you, who can hold you accountable, who can spur you on forward. Passion doesn't work too well in isolation. So overall, friends, whatever it is we're looking forward to, whatever it is we're thinking about chasing, wherever it is we feel stuck right now, because perhaps many people hold themselves into that room where they don't feel joy for that fear of taking the leap. Ask yourself what it is you truly love. Loving something is an endearing force that pushes us forward, a force that has worked in our favor for as long as mankind has lived. Allow yourself time for discovery, for curiosity, to formulate a plan, to build a team, and undoubtedly the results will be incredible. Now, I did say at the outset of this speech that I'm not quite a romantic, but I do have a confession to make as well. As it concerns building a tribe of equally crazy people, I can say it's been a great support and an immeasurable pillar of success to have married my best friend, who is either completely blind to my madness or equally crazy or more crazy, and I don't know which one is scariest. So friends, in summary, I started out as someone who didn't quite understand what it is I loved, because there was a status quo. The paycheck was what you needed to be passionate about. It was the only visible marker of success. It was the only thing that mattered. In fact, we'd say, I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than on the streets. My way of thinking has changed ever since, because when we chase the paycheck only, we're missing out the true meaning of life, which I am still discovering, of course. I don't imagine myself to be in any position to lecture you on life. But I believe, in my humble capacity, that we're all chasing fulfillment. And I believe that in order to find that fulfillment, we must come back to what it is we truly love. When we know what we love, we know what we're up against as it involves investing in it, committing, trying, and making it our lives. It won't be easy. We will meet challenges. We will meet obstacles, but we will keep coming back to this functional word, love, to another functional word, passion. When we're in love with what we do, we will find ways to innovate, to persevere, to adapt to whatever the winds of life may blow our way. And in so doing, we will be wiser for it, more experienced, and in a better position to help the many others who, like us, dream. We know that it's going to take a bit of time. All good things take a bit of time. But we know that we'll use that time to build character. We'll use that time to set ourselves up for long-term success. We'll use that time to evolve in our understanding of things, to outgrow the need for trophies and grow into the need for something more profound, deeper. And we know that at the end of that journey is a huge opportunity to help the many others who dream like us. There is value in loving what we do, in being in love with our jobs, in being in love with our careers, or at least in considering doing what we love. All it takes is that confidence to bet on yourself. Thank you.
I think I might start betting on myself. Ladies and gentlemen, Cyril Jr. Dim.